Hey, Yang. Hope you're all doing well. Coach Jason here. So, I'm talking about putting the pieces together today. What do I mean by that? Well, far too often, and we're going to talk about 800-meter pace today, 800-meter progression workouts. Far too often do I see or hear that if my athletes can't do this particular workout, or if I can't do this particular workout, then it's a failure, or I'm not ready to run this particular race. Okay. And I'm here to tell you that's not necessarily the case. Okay. Some people may believe that, and that's totally fine. But just because top athletes, national class or world class athletes can do a particular workout, I'm going to give you two examples: 8 times a 200, 6 times a 300. Okay, good 800-meter workouts. It's also double the volume of 800, so it's about a mile's worth of training volume at 800-meter pace. So that's a high level workout. But just because, again, they're doing that doesn't mean it didn't take them a long time to get there. They've taken weeks, months, even years in some situations to get to that point. This is why they're national class or world class. And again, there's no reason why other folks can't do that as well. And again, it doesn't really matter whether you're running 2 minutes, 150, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Okay, it still applies to you. Okay, so I'm going to give you 4 progression workouts to help you build to that 8 times 200, to build to that 6 times 300. And by the way, okay, remember, anytime you do something at 800-meter pace or even mile pace, I always give the same recommendation. Okay, after you do your warm up, your drills and your strides, that's fundamental. That's standard all the time before a workout. And the drills and the strides should be a fundamental piece almost everyday training. Okay, strides maybe at least twice a week to help continue triggering leg speed no matter what in a fundamental way. Okay, and then a transitional piece. And in this particular case, a tempo rep of 800 meters to 1,000 meters. Just one of them. You take about a 3 to 4 minute recovery afterward. Okay, what that's going to do is it's going to elevate your heart rate, help you transition not only from the workout to the rep itself, but from the rep itself to the actual workout. Right? I mean, the warm up to the rep itself, the rep itself to the workout. Okay, and it helps you transition. It helps you put you in a position, or your athletes in a position, to maximize the actual workout, the full volume of the workout, no matter what it is that day at the goal pace you want to run it at. Sometimes we spend a lot of time trying to find the pace within a workout. Well, these types of transitional pieces will help make that a little bit easier for you. Okay. It's the longer reps when you do stuff at 800-meter pace and mile pace. It's the shorter reps when you do stuff at 3K pace and beyond. So I'm going to get to that right now. If you're not following me on Instagram, Top of the Line Running, or TikTok, Access the Coach, I'm doing a series of 30 days of consecutive 30 consecutive days of helpful tips of information for coaches and athletes to help you learn as much as you possibly can. Why am I doing that? Well, number one, the more you know, the better equipped you're going to be a better coach or better runner, to make better decisions. That's common sense. That's the bottom line. Okay. It's also the very basic. But also, beyond certifications and coaching clinics, where do we get the continuing education from? Okay. Do we have access to world class coaches whenever we want them? Not really. You have access to an experienced coach, your former competitive runner and experienced coach of the last 2 decades too. I am also USATF certified. So my email is blackbeltrunningcoach@gmail.com. So you have direct access to me. I've got 500 videos on this channel of all things you can think about. And I'm happy to answer questions about any one of them and every one of them if you want to do that. I go live. I do live streams on certain things. So I have guests, or I just do live streams for Q&A, so that if you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. Sometimes questions lead to more questions. Totally fine. I want to get to know you guys and gals as athletes and runners, okay, and coaches, so that we can continue to empower each other, move the sport forward, help each other grow as coaches, help our athletes grow. There's nothing more empowering to me than empowering you and empowering your athletes. So I thank you so much for that, for supporting the channel. And if for some reason you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I don't want you to miss anything. Okay. It's really important to me that you get as much information as you possibly get your hands on. Okay. And again, we don't have access to some of the information that's not shared with us, obviously. So, but there's also an assumption that, and it's unfortunate that the only information that matters is the stuff that world class athletes do. Like, there's books about what some of the best coaches in the world do to their best athletes, but how is it applicable to the masses? Well, I want to help you put the pieces together, put the pieces of the puzzle together to help you get to that point. That's the stuff that's not really shared all the time. I'm not saying it's never shared, it's not shared all the time. So, and again, it's different for athletes, it's different for coaches. What may work for these athletes here might not work for these athletes over there. How do we distinguish between the two? Well, this is where coaching with the eye is really important. So, today we're going to talk about 800 meters, okay? And by the way, if you do subscribe, I thank you for it. Hit the notification button. That way you know when I go live. Also, you'll be at the front of the line when new videos come in. So I thank you so much for that. Okay. It means the world. So let's talk about these two workouts. 8 times to 200. It's a mile's worth of volume at 800 meter pace. 6 times to 300. A little bit more than a mile worth of volume at 800 meter pace. So, but getting to that point, how can you do it? I'm going to give you 4 pieces. Okay. Piece one, 2 sets of 3 by 200. You take a 90-second recovery after each rep and a 3 to 4 minute in between the set. So if you're looking around 2 minutes, you're running this in 29 or 30. You're looking around 3 minutes, you're running them in 40, 44 to 45. You're looking around 4 minutes for the 800, 59, 60, and so on. Okay. Then every 2 weeks, you progress to the next step if you can. Okay. Or if your athletes can. How do you do that? Well, you combine the 2 pieces in the second time you do this workout. Now, instead of doing 2 sets of 3, you're going to try to do 6 consecutive 200s. Not a big time workout, but it doesn't always need to be. This is a great workout for people who are 400, 800 runners. Okay. You can add a couple things for people who are 800, 1500 meter runners, which is going to be the next video I'm going to talk about. Okay. But before I do that, 6 times to 200 with a 90-second recovery. Okay. At the goal 800 meter pace. That's workout too. Okay. I'm going to talk about 1500 meters next. And that's more applicable to the 800 and 1500 meter runners. And then we're going to go to 3K, then 5K, then 10K, then half marathon and marathon. We're going to continue this whole series. So don't miss it. Okay. Now, workouts 3 and 4, the next step. 2 sets of 4 by 200. Now we're adding volume, but we're doing the same type of thing here. The same goal pace, the same recovery, and so on. The same distance of the reps. Now it's 2 sets of 4. Okay. 2 weeks later. Or 3 weeks, whichever you feel is most helpful. Okay. 90-second after the rep, 3 minutes to 4 minutes in between the set. And then the next time you do it, you progress to 8 consecutive 200 meter reps. If that's the end goal, this is how you can build pieces to get to it. Okay. 8 times to 200 with a 90-second recovery at goal 800 meter pace. That is a robust workout. And if you or your athletes can do that over time, it's a really, really good sign of what shape you're in, how close you're going to be to that 800 meter rep. So now let's move over to 300s. You might find athletes who are more 1500, 800. They might be more suited for the 300 meter reps. Or progressing athletes from the 2s to the 3s. That's okay too. You'll see that over time as well. So the 300s workout. Okay, this is the second one. This you're doing 2 sets of 2 by 300. Okay, at the same goal pace of the 800 meters. Okay, 2 minutes recovery after each 300, 4 minutes recovery after each set. And then you progress towards the next one, which is 4 consecutive 300-meter reps at 800-meter pace. Again, not every workout's going to be long. So you can pad this. You can do that tempo rep. You can do a longer tempo rep. You can do a tempo run of a mile or a mile and a half or whatever you want to do. And then you take a little bit longer recovery. And then you transition to stuff like this. If you want to add a little bit of aerobic component to it, you can do that too. But the second workout's 4 times at 300 with a 2-minute recovery at goal 800-meter pace. Then you're going to progress towards 2 sets of 3 by 300. Now we're at the 600. Now we're adding volume. So now it's 6 of these. Okay. 2 sets of 3 by 300, the same 2-minute recovery after the 300 rep, same 4-minute recovery in between the set. Okay. And then next time, the last step, 6 consecutive 300s with a 2-minute recovery at goal 800-meter pace. So this is a way of progressing with 300-meter reps. The other way is we're progressing with 200-meter reps. And again, you can do this with the 4-8 group, for the 200s. You could do this with the 800, 1500-meter group, with the 300s. It's up to you to decide what's most appropriate for your athletes, right? Or yourself, what's most appropriate for you. Okay. Next, I'm going to give you different workouts when we talk about the 1500 and the mile. And we're going to continue going on this whole series, and as well as a whole bunch of other things as well. And if you have questions about these, leave a comment in the video itself. Email me. Again, I'll give you my email, blackbeltrunningcoach@gmail.com. That is my direct email. Okay. So I'm happy to answer questions. Always, always, always. I want you to have a thorough understanding of what we're doing and why we're doing it. Okay. That way you can put yourself in a position as a coach to make decisions, or make decisions on the fly, make adjustments as you see might be necessary. So the more you know, the better off you're going to be. The better off your athletes are going to be. Okay. And I want you to know as much as you possibly can. So that's today's workout, 800 meter pace. Okay. We're going to get to 1500 mile pace next time. Have a good day, everybody. See y'all next time.